Alright, so the motors we're going to use on this build are the Cobra 2204 2300s. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that I'm a strong supporter of T-Motor. I think that T-Motor has a better motor than the Cobras. I think that they are more efficient and they produce more thrust. But, you know, the hype is Cobra motors, so I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and get some and we'll try them out and go from there. I'll go into it with an open mind, but I do like T-Motors. But, you know, like you've seen in the store, they're out of stock and hardly anybody has them, and they're back ordered big time from T-Motors. So as soon as we get our order fulfilled, we'll put those back up on the site for you. Let me open all these motors and then we'll come back. Alright, so I've got all 4 motors opened and ready to go. The hardware is already included for the motors, which are going to be the socket capped M3 7mm. Like I said, what that's going to allow you is a 2mm going into the motor, and it should be perfect. I mean, you shouldn't ever have a problem with these hitting the motor windings, and if you do, you're probably cranking them down way too hard. Again, the socket caps are a 2.5mm Allen wrench. Now, this is where some people will use blue Loctite. I don't ever use Loctite on my motors, and I've never had a problem with it. So you're probably not going to be able to see me do this. It's just putting motors on, so you probably don't really need me to show you much of how to do this part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just start it, and then you'll see that it's on there. And then all 4 of the holes will line up. You can use all 4, you can use the 2 across from each other. I usually use just 2 across from each other, and especially since I'm using Loctite, it probably will be okay. But you have enough bolts here that you can do all 4. Alright, as you can see, I have all the motors on. I'm going to go ahead and flip it back over. Now I have the wires for the motors, and the motors are just going to attach right to those little arms. Now, what I like to do with my cables for my motors is I just like to put them into a little braid. It just helps clean them up from being all crazy. And some people like to put some sleeving on around it. That'll be just as easy, especially with the Inversion PDB, because it's so open that you're not fighting with the sleeving to get it on, because you have plenty of room to work with it here. So let me go ahead and braid these up, and then I'll show you what I do next. I've got all the motors braided how I like them. I haven't cut them down or stripped them, but I went ahead and tinned up the pads. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure out where I need the motor's wires to terminate, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put them down. I'm not going to worry about where they go or what way they're going to spin. I'm going to do all that stuff and be all helly. I'm going to clip these all the same, a little bit different lengths, because of the ones that go out are a little bit longer than the one in the middle. And then do that. And then we're going to go ahead and strip these. And strip this one. And strip this one. And go and tin these up. This isn't on camera, but I'm just tinning the wires up that you've seen me do a couple times now if you've watched the series. Alright, so from there all you're going to do is just put the these down where they need to go. I'm going to get my tweezers because it's going to get kind of close. and then that's that. I'll end up putting a wrap strap around this just to hold the wire down, and I don't have to worry about a prop strike. I'm going to go ahead and go around the rest of the frame and do the rest of the motor wires. I went ahead and did a couple other things. I went ahead and soldered on all of the motors, and then I went ahead and used a small piece of the wrap straps to go around just to hold the motors down. They don't have to be super tight, it's just so that the motors don't pop up into the prop.